A sea of changes behind the scenes at Netflix means investors and subscribers alike are leaving the streaming service behind. However, one couple who've been handed lucrative deals to produce projects for the company is none other than Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who are currently back in Europe at the Invictus Games. Discussing their ongoing public appearances and projects on GB News, the likes of Esther and Phillip pulled no punches as they picked through the week's biggest headlines with celebrity chef Kevin Woodford. What's been catching your eye this week? What's been getting your juices flowing? Phillip cheekily asked Kevin, who wasted no time in bringing up Prince Harry's recent interview with NBC's Today. During the chat, Prince Harry discussed his recent trip to visit the Queen this month and insisted he wanted to make sure she was protected and surrounded by the right people. Kevin weighed in, "My juices have been flowing all over this week. There's this young guy, I'll tell you who he is in a moment. I've got him down as being possibly a cross between an attention-seeking child and a petulant young guy keen to make the extra dollar. His new title now is he's the mighty Queen Protector, Prince Harry. 5,000 miles away from Her Majesty, and yet his role in his eyes is to make sure that she's protected, that she's got the right people around her. And I'm sure she must think, what's he gonna do? Who's he gonna protect me from? Because really what I want is I want to be protected from him. Don't you think? Certainly from Meghan, anyway," Phillip chipped in before Kevin went on, "from both of them in my view. I mean, this is the guy, honest to God, he left the UK and I thought, bless him, okay, I did understand it, the media can be annoying and it can be intrusive, so he left us, he went to the USA. He didn't want to be involved with the media, so he signed a multi-million-pound contract with Netflix, Spotify. All sorts of different companies." Esther spotted the chance for her first put-down against the royal as she chimed in, "Because he wants to be anonymous and he doesn't want to be in the media." Kevin continued his rant, "That's correct. And his mantra, which I absolutely love, his mantra is, and it's a dangerous one, he says, because there's a risk of him burning out with this, but his mantra is he wants to make sure that this is a better world for his kids. And he points out in an NBC interview that his kids are little people. Now, we didn't know that, did we really? You don't know children are just little people, but he does. He's the court jester, he's got the Queen giggling apparently, and I'm sure she rolled in the aisles when he slagged her off." Esther dished another swipe, "Or when he said, I haven't brought my grandchildren, she must have been laughing, mustn't she? She would have been in hysterics, falling off her throne," Kevin sarcastically replied before Phillip turned his attention to Netflix. He said, "The thing I like about it most is," he said in a typical pious way, "I want my children to be brought up in a much more equal society." He got a £100 million contract from Netflix. What kind of an equal society is that? Honestly, it's a complete and utter farce, Kevin replied. "I just think the guy needs to go back to the States, quietly live your life and just leave us alone, Harry. If you're watching, do us a favor. Come on, mate." Concluding the chat, Esther took another jibe at Harry and Netflix as she said, "And also, because it's all over today's papers, he's looking at money to get from Netflix. He's also wearing a little cap now with the Archwell brand on because he'll be selling that now to add to the cough-ups, whether that's for charity or whether that's for him. But can I just ask you, is this a coincidence or not? He's been parading around the world, talking about Netflix. What happened to Netflix this week? They lost 200,000 subscribers and their share price crashed. Was that because the Queen and Charles and Kate were rushing to cancel their subscriptions?" The GB News host mused. A royal brand expert has said that the content Prince Harry and Meghan are creating for Netflix lacks originality, as viewers will likely already be familiar with the events before the documentary is released. Professor Sally Ottens, a marketing expert specializing in how the royal family brands itself, she was perplexed by the filming of well-reported events to be rehashed in new documentaries. She said, "I'm perplexed why we are seeing the events in real life, e.g., at the Invictus ceremonies last year, and why there is any content value to seeing these edited again in Netflix shows. For example, we often don't view the fights or content on the Kardashian programs prior to them airing, we only hear about them. I'm not sure how much inherent value Harry and Meghan are bringing to Netflix. There is some discussion that they are in fact contributing to the disinterest in, and market devaluation, of Netflix.